Thanks for taking the time to learn about Sage ACPAC WMS. In these short video clips, we are going to show you how WMS can be used to improve the processes in your warehouse. Before we begin, let's talk about the basics of warehouse management systems. What is a warehouse management system? A warehouse management system is the management of warehouse resources, and that includes materials, supplies, people, space, equipment, from the point of acquisition to the point of disposition. In other words, a good WMS is going to be keeping track of the goods from the point that those goods arrive at the warehouse up to the point to where those goods actually leave the warehouse. ACPAC Warehouse Management Systems tracks the flow of goods through the distribution center and automates the in-warehouse segment of the order fulfillment process efficiently and effectively. Some of those warehouse efficiencies include increased pick rates, decreased slippage, increased compliancy, and of course, increased warehouse utilization. Let's look at the main processes of the warehouse cycle. So in the diagram in front of you, you can see the main processes that are involved in the warehouse cycle. Let's talk about how WMS can improve on those processes. We see the red box. The first process is receiving and the put away of goods. Normally what's going to happen is that a purchase order is going to be created. The purchase order is made in ACPAC PO. It's going to get automatically downloaded into the ACPAC WMS system. The warehouse staff that are going to be receiving those goods are equipped with radio frequency handheld devices that will allow them to efficiently record each item as it's being downloaded or downloaded off of the truck into the appropriate staging area. Once those goods are in the staging area, those goods can then be directed to the appropriate bins. The warehouse workers can go through the warehouse in an efficient manner upon direction from those radio frequency handhelds. The next step in the warehouse cycle is order allocation. What exactly is order allocation? It is the objective that your warehouse workers pick all of the items that exist in your warehouse in order to fulfill orders from your customers. What normally happens is that a sales order is created in the ACPAC order entry program. That sales order is then downloaded from order entry into ACPAC WMS. Before those items can be ordered, before those items can be picked by the warehouse staff, they first of all have to be allocated. So a process called order allocation takes place. When you allocate orders, you're basically ensuring that there is sufficient stock in your warehouse for your warehouse staff to pick those orders. If there is sufficient stock to fulfill those orders, all of those items are going to be reserved against that specific orders. It's going to prevent new orders from coming in and picking items that have already been reserved against an order to get picked onto other orders. Obviously, in a lot of cases, you might not necessarily have sufficient stock in your warehouse or that exists in pickable bins for you to fulfill an order. If that is the case, ACPAC WMS is not going to let that user pick those items until that situation has been resolved. ACPAC WMS might issue, for example, a replenishment ticket, instructing the warehouse staff to ensure that the goods are moved from existing non-pickable bins into the appropriate pickable bins. After that replenishment has been completed, it might be necessary to do another allocation, which is called order reallocation. We're again going to have a look at this in more details in some of the slides that follow. ACPAC WMS can do kitting. If you're in the manufacturing industry, if you have a lot of, or if you build a lot of main items or master items that are comprised of subcomponents, ACPAC WMS can handle that. You specify the main item in the WMS bill of materials. You then specify the appropriate subcomponents. When you're ready to process the assembly, you will have ACPAC WMS process that assembly, and the appropriate adjustments are going to be made in inventory. There's a process called order waiving. As specified in a couple of slides ago, before the order can actually be picked, the order first of all has to be allocated. The items that exist in that order have to be reserved. Once they've been reserved, the ACPAC is in ready to waive status. Once the order has been waived or has been allocated, you can then waive the items to the warehouse floor. When you waive the order to the warehouse floor, those orders are released to the warehouse staff such that they can be picked. Once the order has been picked, what's going to happen is that the warehouse staff, equipped with their radio frequency handhelds, are going to go through the warehouse and they are going to pick those items in the most efficient manner. It is possible for you to pick one order. It is possible for a picker to pick multiple orders. As a matter of fact, it's even possible for multiple pickers to pick a single order. When they pick those goods, they're going to put the goods into the appropriate cartons. They're going to package those items, and they are then going to send it away. There is a shipping function built into ACPAC WMS. It is possible, for example, for you to pick the cheapest rates with respect to shipping costs. You can print out new labels. You can print the appropriate shipping labels. There are a few things that you can do with the ACPAC WMS shipping function. Periodically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to perform what are called cycle counts. A cycle count is basically a perpetual inventory count. So instead of doing one big physical inventory count once every 12 months, you're in fact counting inventory every day. If there's warehouse staff that aren't very busy, they might be standing around not doing too much, you can make them a lot more productive by asking them to count items that exist in the various bins in your warehouse. So basically, you're actually having a mini physical inventory count happening every day. This way, you're going to guarantee that the inventory count is accurate. You're going to verify and basically make sure that the items that are being reflected back by the item valuation report are up to date. So this is the warehouse cycle. In the following slides, you'll hopefully see how ACPAC WMS will improve on each of these processes in the warehouse cycle.